Hello, it is Work in Progress Wednesday, and I have a couple of housekeeping bits to discuss before we go any further. So pay attention, or don't, I'm not your mother. So the video last week was a little bit weird looking. I think I figured out why that was, and this one shouldn't be quite so weird looking, but I won't know until I look at it. So that's an exciting thing that we're going to find out together. And the market that I was doing on the weekend, I wasn't able to do in the end. The Saturday, which it was supposed to be market day, was very, very steadily raining, like just would not stop. So with it being an outside event with the market and music and all the rest of it, it was decided by the organisers to move it to Sunday, which is fine and fair because Sunday was a gorgeous day for a market, but I was working so I couldn't go and set up a stall. But I could visit the market after work, which is where I picked up this. Now, I'm not obviously doing anything with this yet, but I wanted to show you it because it is gorgeous. This is by a local indie dyer, and when I say local, I mean if I turn around and shout her name real loud, she'll probably hear me. Thanks so much to the helicopter. So this is Wildflower, the Wildflower Gradient with 20 shades by Changeling Coloured Yarns. I'll put a link in the description to her website so you can see the gorgeous things she does. I have ordered some yarn to go with this, so this should be on the loom next week, depending on when that yarn arrives, and I'm very excited. I'm making something for me with this, because look at that. How could I possibly refuse that? She knows when I go to the market, she knows she's going to sell something, because, I mean, of course she is. So, last week on the loom, I'm going to put that away. You've looked at it. It's mine. You can't have it. So, last week on the loom, I had this, which I'm dragging out of a bag as professionally as I ever do. So, this is my pinkish, orangey, cottony scarf. I haven't twisted the fringes. I'll tell you the problem I'm having, loose fringes at the moment. I will twist them before I wet finish because this is not wet finished. Of course it's not. It came off the loom yesterday. I could have probably wet finished it yesterday, but with my computer being fixed, I can play video games again. So that's the end of that. I was distracted by video games. So that has got, I don't know if you can see, I don't know if it's showing up very well. It's got a pick-up stick pattern which is showing up on that side, and that's how it's looking on the other side. Let me hold that up properly. So that should shrink and become a bit sort of like a mesh when I wet finish it, but we'll see. I will twist the fringe, I'll wet finish it, and I'll show you this next week. I do have something on the big loom, but as is tradition for Work in Progress Wednesday, it is not very far along, so I'll show you what's going on there. So there may or may not be a blowfly in this room. I don't know if it's still here. I've been chasing it around, but I couldn't get rid of it. Not because of any moral objections to blowflies, it's just that I wanted it out of the room. But I think it may have left of its own accord. But if you can hear it, or you do see it, I'm sharing the Australian summer experience with you. You are welcome. So this is on the big loom. I don't have anything on the little loom at the moment. I just took that cotton one off yesterday and haven't warped it up yet because I've been doing other stuff. This is a red. I don't know if you can tell. That's red. This is from my aunt's stash, and I would suggest from the 1980s. So that is an 80s label, don't you think? So this is double knitting acrylic by Fiesta, which is not a brand I've ever heard of. And it's a little bit narrower than I intended it to be, and it's also off-centre on the heddle because I thought there were two balls of Fiesta and there wasn't. The other ball is a different brand, which I can't remember off the top of my head. Different shade of red, slightly different weight. So when I went to add in the second ball at the side, it didn't work. I should have, or I could have, sort of incorporated it, moved some stuff around. But the thing about that is I didn't want to. So the weft is this one, which I can actually show you because I have the whole ball here. And that is Panda Crypto 8-ply in this colourway. And this colourway is called Colour Number 3, which is a poetic and beautiful name for a poetic and beautiful colourway. So this is the same yarn that I used on one of the green scarves last week, if you saw last week's video, just a different colourway. It weaves up really beautifully, it's nice to handle, it's also 100% acrylic. I don't know that I'll use the whole ball, or the whole cake, that's a cake, although I did warp up sort of extra length in the hopes to use up as much of this as possible. I am trying to stash bust a little bit, and that's because I keep ordering yarn. But if you order yarn and then put it into your stash and then use it, you are then stash busting. It's all fine. So as a guide to how far along on this I am, I think if I pull this up, you can see the tail from the hem stitching because it is about 1 finger width out of shot. I have not made a lot of progress on this at all. I've been focusing on the cotton one, which I finished, and well, I haven't done the fringes, but it's off the loom, and that's half the battle. So that is what is on the big loom, possibly ready to go for next week. I hope so, because I want to put my lovely new hand-dyed yarn on, but we'll see how I get on with that. The other thing I've been working on a little bit is my magic ball blanket. So the last time I showed you that, it looked like this. Be kind, this is a screenshot from the actual video because the photograph, which was also a screenshot from a video, but let's not go into detail, was on my C drive, which has died, and I have a new one, so I don't have that photo anymore. I had to grab it again. Anyway, that's irrelevant because this is how the blanket's looking now. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, but it is a slightly different shape and also a slightly different pattern. So I was enjoying the granny rectangle. I like a granny rectangle, I like a granny square, but I just kind of thought it could be more interesting in something else. So it's going to be a star blanket. It's a little at the moment, a little. This is a baby blanket, although you can make it as big as you like because you just keep going around and around until you're bored or until you've run out of yarn, which is going to be a while because I've got, I think, about 1 kilo of yarn in my magic ball. So yes, the thing is, I don't know which pattern I'm using because I looked for it, found it and printed it off, and then my C drive died, so I lost all my browsing history. And I have been having a look to see if I can find this exact pattern, but I can't remember what it looked like in the pattern because I didn't grab the photos, I just grabbed the pattern. However, it is an 8-point star baby blanket crochet. There are loads of free patterns for star blankets. There are 5-point, 6-point, 8-point. I think I saw a 10-point one. If you're feeling really fancy, I think there's a 10-point one around somewhere. But I'm loving how this is coming out. I'm holding it up quite well. So that is where we're at. Fold back a little bit so people can see you. That's where we're at with the magic ball blanket. I have frogged the granny square, granny rectangle all the way back to ball. Yeah, that makes sense. And have started this instead. And I think it's coming out well and I'm excited about it. But that is all I have for you this week. Next week I should have that gorgeous yarn on the loom, so I'm excited to get started on that. I've got an idea about what I'm going to do with it. The idea is, of course, weaving, but I've got like an idea as well. But I'll get into that next week because I might do a different idea. And I don't want to get your hopes up for whichever idea I end up doing. I don't know what I'm talking about, and I can't expect you to either. So I'm going to end it here. You take care of yourself. Have a lovely rest of your week and a lovely start of next week as well. Treat yourself. And I will see you next time. Bye for now.